Welcome to Test Drive Show on Azande Pictures. My name is Joseph Nashon, the usual host of the Test Drive Show. Today we are going to bring you an interesting guest that is going to roll us through the roles and responsibilities of youth in peace building. I wouldn't want to dig much on him. He will be telling us who he is. But all I know is he has been an amazing youth who is an elder to many South Sudanese and other communities all over the world. So I'll take this opportunity to introduce to you the guest, and he will tell us more about himself. Gentlemen, you'll introduce yourself to us and tell us more about yourself and your name. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Azande Pictures. Thank you, Brother Nashon, for this great moment that I've been given to talk about peace. My name is Mr. Simon Mikanipare, originally and officially from Western Equatoria, Azande Kingdom. Yeah, and I'm based in Juba, of course, with the several movement around as a board member and also a shareholder of 3 different companies, international companies, which is based in Nairobi and DRC, Congo. And currently I'm here specifically for this interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Once again, welcome to this show. When we think about peace, we're looking at an area which is with no war, non-violent environment. So youth as a body, as a group, as individuals have always been mingled in this process of having peace. Where are we as youth?
Thank you very much for the question. To begin with, I would like to define what peace is, the way I define peace for myself, and why I put myself more comfortable when I talk about peace. When you talk about peace, the P in my own analysis, it stands for a purified person, somebody who is really purified, very clean, who wants to live in a very conducive environment. And then the E in peace is excelling, somebody who would like to excel. Of course, when you are purified, you would like to excel. And then the A is acceptable, somebody who can be accepted in a community, somebody who can be accepted in wherever he goes, and somebody who accepted himself or herself. And then the C is courageous, courage to do things. Because once you have peace, you are excelling, you have been accepted, you have the courage to do whatever you would like to do. Like now what we are doing is a kind of encouragement kind of initiative. And then the E, which is the last part of peace, is extended. You know, when you are a peaceful person, you'll have no limit. You'll be dealing with extended community, extended people, extended friends, and so on and so forth. So when you come up with the question you have just asked, where are we, the youth, in this peace process, or in the peace arrangements, or in the peace discussion, on the peace engagement in the country, which is South Sudan, I find that we are actually we are on the top of this peace process as a youth. The only obstacle which is hindering the prosperity of the youth in this peace process is denial of access to other opportunities that can really sell their intention or sell their ideas in peace process. Actually, if we talk about peace, the real peace we talk about, we have to begin training our little ones, our children from home, building them from the foundation. When we build them from the foundation, we are going to see a very peaceful community, a very peaceful environment, and peaceful people and peaceful leaders we are going to live with. Otherwise, the youth have got a lot of energy in this peace process to give in if they are given a chance. The question is very good. The hindrance, the blockage, I'm going to go about that. The first thing we would like to know, the role of the youth in the peace and conflict zone before, during, and after conflict. Like in our situation in South Sudan, the youth have to be given a chance to have more delivery in humanitarian support to the community, access to participate in post-conflict programs and peaceful truth reconciliation processes within the community and within themselves. The major thing that I have seen, that when the initiative has been brought up by the youth to the table or to the community or to the public, there are a lot of investigation. Why are you doing this? Who gave you the permission? Who did this for you? Why is the document for this? Such kind of hindrances make them to be scared. Otherwise, we have quite a number of good initiatives that youth needs to bring up, which they have. For example, now we only know about football. What about cultures? What about farming? What about other activities that youth can be engaged in? They can be given a permission to be doing all these activities within the territory. And therefore, once they are given that approval or that permission by our leaders who are responsible for all these approvals, I think they will have very many ideas to put on the table to contribute into this peace process. The young people from South Sudan have studied in very different countries. They have come home with many knowledges, many different ideas. Yeah, they find challenge. And these challenges are supposed to be mitigated by the young people, supposed to be supported by the authority of the country, so that they are able to have access to more sharing and to be able to deliver the services, also the knowledge that they have. Otherwise, today in our capital of South Sudan, Juba, many youth come, or in different states, when they come home, they just keep their documents with them. They have nothing to do because they are still waiting for the right time. But the more they wait, the more things go astray. So therefore, if they are given a chance to explore and put down all that they've learned, it's going to be a really very good thing for the country.
Yes, thank you so much. There are many approaches that have been used, say, back in South Sudan or back in our communities in Western Equatoria. There has been so many approaches that have been used by the current drivers, the leaders, community leaders, whoever has been the church leaders, to engage the communities and all those that are involved to bring peace back home. It seems to sink. It seems not to work. Is there any other approach, if given a chance to take this process in future? Is there any better approach that we would quickly look at and say, let's go by this? Given an opportunity that there's access now to all these blocks, all these information that the youth are not accessing, are there some that you know?
Yeah, I have quite a number of approaches. Peace is a very vast area that we talk about. I have a few approaches that I would like to propose or suggest or share with us in this discussion. One, as youth, peace and security. So these things move concurrently. Therefore, if the youth are given the chance of proper security for their activities, to enable them move freely, to enable them exercise their knowledge or their skills, or whatever they know within the country, I believe we are going to have more bright knowledge and ideas being put in the country that we don't have, that we don't know now. But because of insecurity, therefore, it's really a blockage for them. Number two is to bring peace through agriculture, through farming. Some of our leaders are already doing this. I know some of them, whereby they plant coffee, and then we can engage the youth. Some we can do it voluntarily. The youth can plant the coffee or plant other plantation, and then others will be able to sell it. We try to create market for these young people. And then at the end of the day, the money they are making comes back into their account, and then we recycle the money to support them in their small project. Those who want to do the business, those who want to go back to school, those who want to do some initiatives, they continue with that. But if all these are not given, I think there will be a lot of hindrance in these processes. Above all, the security is really the big obstacle, which is hindering quite a number of things that we really plead for our leaders to work on it. And working on the security issue is basically to embrace peace and move forward. The other thing that we don't find immediately, but by the time we give opportunity for peace, it comes to flow. I believe we have really fought in the country for many years. People have died and people are still dying. Therefore, we need to give chance for peace. We need to give opportunity whereby our young people who are growing now were able to exercise their knowledge. Otherwise, those young people who are not within the country, who have been given birth to outside the country, it will be difficult for them to come home, because when they hear this on news, when they see this happening, they will not really feel comfortable coming back home. But therefore, we need to begin doing something that can call back our people. Technology is now very high. I'll talk about this later on in our discussion. Where are we taking the technology? We need to bring people back home to help us do this. We have enough fruits, we have enough things in the farm. We can make mango juice, we can make pineapple juice, we can do quite a number of things, avocado juice plus many others. Therefore, if you have these companies or these factories within the region or within the country, we are going to create a lot of opportunity for job to our people, especially to our youth. For example, in Baragazal, in Bor, when we use the kettle milk for producing yogurt plus many other things, and in Western Equatoria we have the fruits, we produce juice. We do buttering exchange. You see, we sell juice in other area, we sell milk in other area, and other places we have fish. Yeah, in other places we have fish, and then this fish can be made into tuna, and then we have enough food. Therefore, I really put this as a suggestion to our leaders and to our listeners, so that we are able to consider this. I was in South Africa. I found that the other part of the community, they plant grass, and then other people carry the grass to the kettle come, and then the kettle come guys buys the grass from the farmers and then feed their kettles. This is one of the solution to a peaceful coexistence with the kettle keepers and farmers. Others can plant the grass and sell it to the kettle keepers.
Just not to cut you short, with our community, with our country, some of the things are existing. You will not understand why and how. Why is it hard to embrace? I mean, like, welcome all these approaches and just have a total peace. And to my belief, peace is indeed possible. And if it's possible, why are we failing?
Thank you very much. We are failing to embrace this because our leaders or our elders are not taking it seriously, and they are not giving that confidence into the youth, like the youth are able to do something. That's why I mentioned that the youth have got a lot of ideas to put on the table of South Sudan, but unfortunately they're not given the opportunity. Once they're given the opportunity, you will see wonders happening, because I believe in all the 10 states we have people who are qualified to deliver services. We have young people who are qualified. We have intellectuals who are qualified to bring all these ideas on the table. And also, once the youth are given the chance to also their voice to be heard in the parliament, their voice to be heard in the community, their voice to be heard by our politicians, not to just rubbish them off. And then also back to the youth, I think we shall also believe when we communicate our ideas, our initiatives, we need to know how to put it.
Youth, when you look at all this peace building process, youth, like you earlier on said, are actually in the implementation. They are the one implementing, they are the one that come up with their voices, and then it's all mingled here. When they say go and fight, it's the youth that always you find in this whole process. But then when they come out to outcry that they need water, they need borehole, and some of the things are not done for them, what do we do? What should we do as youth to these leaders? Should we go and put down tools and not talk and not act? Who should we go to?
Thank you very much for this question. This question brings me to the point of youth are denied resources, financial resources, accessibility to some opportunities that can make them implement their ideas or their initiatives. As such, once they are really desperate for something, for example, like education, if a young person wants to complete his education and is not given the money to go, or the scholarship to go for that, and he will just wait, and somebody comes on with his own ideology and convince the person, accept this so that this can happen to you, automatically they go for it. So our youth are not engaged when they are in need. They are being left and then thereafter they know when they are really in need of something, they bring a different idea. I found this in very many people. For example, like in Juba, in other states within South Sudan, young person stays just sitting, taking tea, just smoking, and all this. They're not given the chance to be doing something. That's why I brought the idea of, once these people are given the opportunity, and the factories comes into the country, or other companies, big companies come to the country, you will find these people all very much busy, engaged. Nobody will be idle to be going to fight, to be going to ambush, to be going to pickpocket. You'll find all these young people implementing, and many more others who are outside South Sudan will be called by their fellow colleagues who are implementing these things, because nowadays youths are more vocal, they are well connected. Only that they don't have the opportunity to experiment, to experience or to testify whatever they have in their mind.
Thank you so much for these insights. To my viewers, ladies and gentlemen, as we listen to our guest, we are enriched in knowledge. We are the labor, we are the resource, the human resource of the country. We have a lot of things to put out. The energy comes from the youth. So once you should understand your roles and responsibility and build up a nation that only brings total peace, and that brings an environment where you can walk at night, you can go for happenings and you have nobody to stop you. Go to farms. He has mentioned that let's go and farm, and if we farm, we'll be able to have that what we put out and will be brought back to us. So still inclusiveness of this process. The women also cry that they are not involved in the process. And yet when you look at when there was war, women were there to, to prepare food, to carry water for the men when they were at the front line. Do you see women participate?
In this process that I've been seeing happening, I hear a lot of cry of women to participate. Just of recent that I begin finding some like MPs participating, some vocal MPs talking social media and within the country. But I don't follow other states very much. But sometimes when I come across that on our news or TV, I see that some other places women are involved. The only thing which is happening is when they are involved at the beginning of the program. But when the fruits come, it's very difficult to see them benefiting from the fruits, as well as young people. Therefore, I find it very challenging for our community, for our people to move on if they are really looking for peace in our country. One thing they need to do is to embrace themselves and to share. Our good musician sang very well, Burtukal Deke Legacy Musawa. We have to share this thing together. If really a peace dividends is given to the country, every state, every person who is due for it takes it. You may not take the first part of it, but you might take the second part of it. For example, if funding is given for building a hospital, what do? You will find that in all the states we have a referral hospital, or we have a hospital which are very well equipped. And then some of us can benefit from this, but it is very difficult. Sometimes when it happens, you guys hear on the news, but you don't know where it is ended up. So once the youth are given the support of the vision of peace, women are given support of the vision of peace, they are given the support to create space for them, they will really be very much seen, active, participating without any hindrance, and you will see the peace moving forward. Also, exposure for the young people is paramount. Once we talk about peace, we might find that in our small territory where we have been for 10 years, for 15 years, we have not seen what's happening at the backyard of other place. Therefore, you find a big challenge. You will think this is the all, but it is good to expose. So we need to invest in the youth exposure to the countries which have been in war, like Angola, like Rwanda, plus many others, so that we are able to learn from. Action visit is very important. I do have friends who come from other states abroad to come and visit South Sudan. Others whom I visit, we do this kind of exchange, which I believe by the exchange visits, you will find that people are learning a lot. the youth are really supposed to be given enough space in the political process in the country. Not only space for formality, a space that they can talk and their voice is heard. And when their voice is heard, something is implemented, something is done for them, something that is visible that they can see. And then also, it's come to the point of dragging peace process. When it's time for exposure to some young people, we only select few people from a different section of a tribe within the country. So this issue of tribalism within the country also is a hindrance, first of all, to the nation and to the individual people, beginning with the youth, women, and everybody, which we need to minimize and remove it out in our system.
Social media has been identified as one of the parliament with freedom, that they believe as youth what they say can be heard by those in control, those who are hindering all, who are a block to this peace building. They believe like the president can hear their voice through social media. Has social media created an impact to the youth?
Thank you very much for this question. I've been waiting for it. Social media, it depends on how you raise your voice on social media. If you raise your concern negatively, you will get negative answer. If you raise your voice positively, you will get a positive answer. And also, when you're raising your concern on social media as a young person, as a youth, you don't need to take it personal, like talking directly to one or to our leaders, or taking it like you have been waiting to expose this person on social media, or you won't talk about the bad of this person on social media. Everybody in this world has got his negative part, but you need to know how to present your concern. You don't bring a personal issue into your national issue or your concern issue. If you're a young person with that peace, love in your heart, talking to our leaders for your voice to be heard, you have to do this. And social media also is something which is a archive. When you speak, you are documenting your points. The points can be used against you at some point. And I think this is also one of the hindrances that is hindering some of our youth, when they just speak out of anger on social media because they're tired of this. In fact, peace process is not a one-day show. It's a process. It's a journey that you begin until others come and pick out from you. So when we talk about peace, requesting our concern to be heard by the president, by the MPs, by the leaders, or whoever is head of us in our government, we need to know how to put it. I believe one day I asked one of my friend who is in the parliament, I asked him, can I come to the parliament just to sit and listen? Is there any opportunity for us to come? I just want to see what has been happening in the parliament. I've not yet gone there, but I believe youth MP should be there, whom when we talk on social media, it's not hard, it's no feedback, then we take it hard copy.
But I wanted to interrupt you. We have MPs, more than 300 MPs, that is representing the different communities. What's happening in this house?
Yeah, the first thing we need to do also is to organize ourselves. Like I said before, when you're talking about peace in a nation, even in your house, you need to know how to put it. If you just come from the road, begin talking anyhowly, nobody will listen to you. They will just say this is a drunkard person. Maybe he's stressed, maybe he's traumatized. So we need to find a channel how to present our issues. Some of our leaders don't feel comfortable when we approach them on social media, asking them for some clarification, for some point of view or some solution to our problems. They're not comfortable. And also, some of our leaders, it's not that they're all bad. They have been doing good things. Most of them have been doing good things. We need to recognize. We recognize, and we know very well nation building is not one person's show. A minister of roads will come and build 1,000 kilometers and he goes. Another one will come and build 2,000 kilometers and he goes. So we should not say the nation building is for one person. All of us will build this nation. All of us, in one way or another. Let me say this. Once we go to a class, we need each other. You study geography, I study science, another one study another subject. Why do we do all this? Because at the end of the day, all of us we need each other to help each other. If I'm sick, I go to the doctor. Doctor will say you go and eat and take this medicine. He will never give me money for food or give me food. Whom do I go to? To somebody who did agriculture, who's a farmer. You get the point? They told me to eat fruits. I must buy, then I eat. Therefore, my qualification cannot be of use if not yours is there. Therefore, we need to build this kind of join hand together, join mind together, and see how we can approach our leaders for their concerns. And also our leaders who are listening to us, they should know young people who would like to see things happening, moving. They need to find a mechanism whereby young people are also part of this decision making, so that if something goes wrong or any delay somewhere, all of them are blamed.
There's a narrative here that you are young and I'm young and I'm not supposed to discuss peace. Even when we put up this conversation up, they were like, no, you can't discuss peace because you're not fit enough. The people who represent us in the parliament are silent. What do we do to awake them from this sleep?
Thank you very much for this question. If they say we should not discuss peace, then they are postponing their blood pressure to their retirement age. Why do I say this? If you don't give us chance as young people to talk about peace, then you just know that as leader, after you retire, you will find it very difficult to get what you will really be entitled for. Giving you chance to talk about peace and build peace is going to help our leaders when they retire, when they get very, very old, whereby now you have planted. We need these leaders to plant something in us. Plantation of peace, by giving us the opportunity to talk about peace. Because once they are gone, I'm not saying they are going to die tomorrow, but once their time is phased off, then young people comes in. How do you want the country to be if you don't build the people? If you don't build somebody, then that means you are killing your future of the nation. Then after 10 years, 20 years, 50 years to come, this nation will not be ours. Because when you ask me, I will say I don't know. But somebody is busy somewhere googling about South Sudan, making a research about South Sudan, learning about South Sudan cultures, whereby they know very well after 50 years these guys are going to go off because nobody among them knows something. Therefore, the elders, the leaders are our dictionary. They should give us opportunity, chance to talk about peace, to give us, to even support some peace activities. The football is going now in Western Equatoria. I'm very happy about that. We should support cultural kind of interaction. We should support some games. We should support some trips, some learning travels to the young people to other countries. To expose them, because we are planting the future of the nation into these people. Once the elders are phased off from the system, then we have still hope to go. Thereafter, our young people will say, no, I was built up by elder so and so, let me take care of his family, let me protect his land, let me protect his plot, because you will be blind, you will be very old, you will have no voice, they'll be carrying you from inside to outside, outside to inside. So when we build these people, they are going to be our pillar, they are going to be our supporters in the nearest future to come.
If we were to talk to the youth alone, let's put away the leaders who are driving the youth, and we have to talk to the youth in this discussion. What would be that message? What would be that you would put to the youth specifically? What does the country expect from them, without going negative? Because what I'm seeing of late, when you go on social media, you see youth attacking themselves for reasons that is very shallow. So maybe they don't know their roles, because the hatred is thrown among the youth. What would you tell the youth?
Yeah, thank you very much. As I defined peace from the beginning of my conversation, I'm going to define the word use. Use to me, the why standing there in the word use is a young person or young people The O there is standing for organized person, organized people, united person with another person, truthful people, and honest people. When I combine this, it brings to me the word youth. Therefore, what I would like to tell the youth, they are organized, they are young, they are united, they are trustworthy, they are honest people, is number one. Know yourself, know what you want in life, and then know how to move towards that dream. If you do it with one heart, you are going to prosper, you are going to excel. If you do it with a different intention, like you want something to happen to you today, it's going to be difficult, because our elders or our leaders, they've been used, they have been in the system. Now they are going down. There are some areas where they've crossed that we need to cross. You cannot cross a bridge before you reach it. Somebody wants to do something, as soon as he's saying it somewhere, it cannot help us. So we need to embrace ourselves, first of all, love ourselves or whatever we have, and then move forward. What we can do mostly is consultation. Let's consult our elders, be close to elders. How have you done this? We be close to friends who have prospered. How have you done this? Thereafter, we begin building our dream with their advice and guidance. Therefore, the youth will really be one and move together. Yeah, what confuses the youth mostly is also lack of access to their dreams, which I believe our leaders need to help us in, to let the youth have access to their dreams. A very simple example: a young person has got a scholarship, they only need passport to go to study, and it's not there. Many of our youth have missed opportunity from this, and once they miss opportunity, they are now vulnerable for anything which comes around. Anybody who brings $100, come and fight, come and do this, come and steal, come and do 1, 2, 3. They find themselves doing this because they've lost hope. Therefore, I urge the youth not to be reluctant. A chance is past, but it's still coming. The best is God's time. They should not be on hurry that I've missed this. That means I've lost hope. I should be doing something which is against my dream or my will. They should pursue and also accept the spirit of voluntarism. There are a lot of activities happening in the country with the government, with the NGOs, with the communities. Volunteer. Do something that can build your career, which is really very important.
Thank you so much. Again, to my audience, the youth, the elders, the church leaders, my guess is only appealing that we should give chance to the youth, or we should give chance to ourselves, because peace starts with us or with me. It's from the heart that you'll find peace. You'll be able to do a lot of development instead of thinking negatively, instead of being misled by an individual who probably gets his money in a very funny manner. You can be able to use these opportunities of agriculture, sports, and all that, and then you find peace to greet your friend, to hope. The guest adds here, we should be volunteering to these processes. Even when it is time for the government to organize a function, go and volunteer. You never know, amidst that time, you're picked on and you'll be championing the peace process. So as we go to concluding our program, we've been reading, we've been seeing you as an individual getting involved with the youth, engaging them in conferences. Also, last week we were reading about an hand that was extended to one of our artists, who was a son of the soil, who was a bit stuck somewhere. Why do you find this peace in the same country that other people find it so difficult, to call it a peaceful country?
I love my country, South Sudan, so very much. I can say South Sudan is a place whereby you can create your own peace. create your own peace. And when you create your own peace, then you share. Peace begins with ourselves. Be the change. When I was seeing our brother who had some challenge, not to go outside for the first time in our community, I was following it up. I was very happy because it is one of my major things I've just put across, exposure. I said that's very good. This boy should go. Then I found some family friends, my brothers and sisters from abroad and within supporting the young man. And in fact, it happened. That was so nice. That's already creating peace within yourself by doing that. After a few days, there was a challenge which came up. The document needs some time or some number of days to be given approval for him to travel. That one touched my heart so much. I said, okay, now the peace I've created for myself in South Sudan, let me try to practice it. That's why I said we need to live in peace with others. A very good friend of mine in Juba. I was not in Juba. I was very far, thousands of miles away from Juba. And I just text him, my brother, I have a brother who is struggling to get 1, 2, 3. Could you please help him? Please do it for me. He said, why not, my brother? I know you have been so good to me. I will do it. He's the one who got his own money from his pocket to do it. And he's from a different community. So when I talked to him, so my relationship, the peace I created within myself, within my colleague, he's actually from Bor, has made another brother to feel it. You see? And today, he is not only abroad for himself. He's for the country, he's for his career, he's for his community, and he's for Africa. You get the point? So here, we have promoted quite a number of activity in one person. And I talked to him some few days ago. He told me he has received many calls from different countries and some continents inviting him. Now, I felt like if our brother could not have this access to go, where could this exposure come from? So let us not hold the peace we experience to ourselves, because when we hold it without giving it to another person and envying the person or being jealous of the person, then we are not going anywhere. We shall remain in one place talking about peace for thousands of years to come. We will not have it. Let us try to distribute that peace by action, by what, not only necessary cash, but whatever you have, the idea you have, the suggestion you have, the thing you have, you will find it happening. So that's why I felt very much touched when I saw it. I said, no way, this boy cannot stay when I'm still alive. He cannot stay. Actually, he's not so close to me. What I know is a young man who has his career, which I really promote. And the career,
I have seen him talking to Africa. He said, I'm in Africa. I'm from Juba, I'm from South Sudan, but I'm representing Africa, which was very interesting to know. As we wind up this conversation, I want us to put it to all South Sudanese. What peace is expecting from them, because much of this time that we've been talking about peace, it seems we're expecting from peace, but there's something peace is expecting from us. So you said peace starts with us, and then now should we start peace as well?
Yeah, sure. We need to really to begin peace. There's no time to waste. One journalist presenter was saying, no time to waste time. We don't need to wait for peace to Addis Ababa to come, to Mogadishu to come, but begin it in your compound, inside your house, and it goes out. Begin practicing it. Very simple equation. Somebody has broken into your house, stole your motorbike, and that's the end of the world. You take your knife or a gun and begin looking for the person, if you know the person. And if you find the person, you kill the person because he stolen your bike. Very simple. It is very hard to make a decision of this kind, but we have to do it for the sake of peace. Just let it go. The bike is gone, okay, no problem. Let it go. The phone is gone, let it go. You begin it. It is painful. Very painful. Some people have tried it. I have tried it several times, and I'm still trying it as I speak. Therefore, we must forgive. We must forgive to cultivate that free that garden of peace in our heart. It's not easy, but we have to cultivate it. As I said before, it will take time, but let us keep doing it. If we keep doing it, then gradually we are going to find that our country is coming into peace slowly by slowly, and we should be.
Gentlemen, recently you were in Congo. Social media through to us you visited the burial ground of a few legends that either were born before us and we used to enjoy their music. What was this motive?
Yes, as I said before, I create my own peace so that I am peaceful. The peace I create for myself, as I said before, you begin with yourself. You know, the Madelu, the Papa Wemba, the Defao, plus many others. When we were growing, I'm still young, I'm still growing. When we were so little, in my high school, I really a challenge of school fees. I remember the school fees my mom has given me in her life is $20, $20 cash. The rest is advice and the prayers and the cultivating, giving me the grain of maize in sacks to take to school. I sell some of it, and it helps me with other things. But I used to visit a video showroom where they used to play the music of these musicians. I liked it so much, and I asked the manager of the video showroom to download for me into this CD so I can sell it. So I sell at 200 shillings by then I give him 100 shilling, I take 100 shilling. So I made a lot of money out of that for 3 years, and then this money helped to pay my tuition. I also did this in favor of thanking these legends whom I've never seen. I see them in the screen, but I never saw them physically. So when I was in Congo, in Kinshasa, I put pressure on my colleagues. I want to go and visit these guys' grave. Number one, to give thanks, to pray, and to clean. Number two, to show to them and to the people around there that South Sudanese are not all that bad, because some of negative things about us outside there is really very bad. That they're not friendly, they kill people, they are arrogant and all this. But I want to diffuse that by doing it. And above all, from the kingdom of Azande, I felt very good to do this. You never know if I was my uncle, Pepper was my uncle, I don't know, because we are divided in these countries all. So I have to show this kind of solidarity with the people of Congo to show to them that we are really one and we are concerned. In our culture, when somebody dies, of course, people come from abroad to visit the grave. I have to portray that kind of image. So I came from that end to visit the grave from this end. Therefore, if you see my video very well, when I was cleaning the grave of Defao, of Madelu, I felt it. And then it touched their heart. They joined me to clean, and they were very impressed. So I have to put that message across.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been following us, this conversation is broad. We'll continue to bring for you bits in bits. We shall continue to bring for you guests that will inspire you. We'll continue to bring for you people who have been in this peace process, people who have been there, people who love you and they stand for you. You can see he says peace starts with him. He's very peaceful to himself, and he's doing an amazing work around South Sudan and outside South Sudan. You could do the same. You could inspire someone with the peace that you have in you. And just to conclude on this show, I wanted us to get the last message from our guest. What is your last message for the South Sudanese who are dangling in, I don't want to call it unsafe environment, but they are not fully in access to water, health centers, roads, proper roads, education? Any message of hope to the South Sudanese?
Thank you very much for this question, which is bringing us to the end of the show. I do thank our listeners for your time. You left all your job, your precious moment, your relaxation to listen to us. Before I conclude, I have vast notes or points on peace about in South Sudan with the youth and with the people of South Sudan. It's just that the show always regulates. Otherwise, we could talk even for 3 hours, for 5 hours. We should keep talking. But if chance is given, some time to come, I'll be very much happy to talk more about it. On education, I would like to encourage both young people and old people to embrace education. I would like to encourage our leaders who are responsible for education to really share the scholarship opportunity equally, and also to make it more accessible, more simple, and encourage students to get this opportunity to go for studies. And they should cooperate with the Ministry of Interior in terms of the legal documents, which is basically the nationality and the passport, which is a vital asset in the scholarship process. And also try to orient the students when they go outside South Sudan, for example, to Egypt, to Ethiopia, to India, to Morocco, to Uganda, to Kenya, and others. They need to have orientation on the life there, orientation on the weather there, orientation of everything. It is very, very important. If the government in charge of this could invite one person from that specific embassy to give orientation about the country where they are going, it is very, very good. For example, in Ethiopia, our children went there some years back. Some of them didn't spend even 1 month. They returned home. They went on scholarship. Because of what? The type of food, the chili type of food, the injera, plus many other things. So they need to be tuned from home so that they know we are not going to eat the same kisra, the same combo. We are going to be eating something different for 3 years, for 5 years, and I come back home. So this can really help our students. In terms of water, we need to be concerned. Ourselves needs to be concerned about our environment. For example, we have River Nile flowing in Juba. Am I concerned? Do I clean near River Nile? Do I throw bottle there? What do I do? So you begin doing that. I was recently in Japan. I went to visit waste management factory. They turn a bottle, this bottle we see here, they turn it into oil. You might ask me how. If it is how, then let us equip our young people. They will tell us how it's done, because technology is now kicking very far. So we really need to ensure our young people to know the world is now growing. Cleaning environment. I could see the dustbin. They are put 3 category: one for containers, one for paper bags, one for this, and all these I've got to use. They go and recycle. We need to have a recycle system in our country to keep our environment clean. And who are going to do this? The youth are going to do it. Thereafter, our water, our environment will be very, very clean. In health, this water issue goes together with the health. So that's why I'm talking about the hygiene, which is paramount, the concern of being a South Sudanese, of being a true South Sudanese, of being a true Pan-Africanist, so that you are not sidelined at the last days. Yes, when I was talking about I created my own peace, it happened 1 year ago. I got a motor vehicle accident. I was driving, my friend was driving from a different direction, and he knocked me. When he knocked me, I broke my hand, and then he came out from his car and harassed me. And only those who were around me stood, they want to beat him up. And then I defended him again. I told the military guys who were near me, don't beat him. If you beat him and kill him, whom will I take to court? So I changed the situation into a joking way, but I already got broken. And they took him to the hospital. I went to the hospital, and it came to the point that I have to go to the police, write the statement, go to court, he should pay my car and all this and all that. I told them no, I have no time for this. I don't know him. He's a Sudanese like me. He did not mean to hit me. Thank God I'm as alive, but my hand is broken. Let us see how God will help me to be treated. In fact, I got my treatment. He was much sorry about it, and I never took him to court. And one friend of mine called and said, "This guy who knocked you, what have you done with him?" I said, "No, he's okay. He's home." The first question he asked me was, "Have you taken him to police? Have you taken him into court?" I said, "No." "For what?" "No, to pay your car back." I said, "No. There are still more cars in Japan. If I want a car, I will get it." So I just took it like that. That's why I said it's not easy to make a decision. And up to now, that young man, I put him a message of peace already. If something happened to me closer to what he has done to me, and somebody harassed him, he will remember me. He will say, if this guy could forgive me, how about this one? So there's a way we need to plant peace into ourselves. Through hard way, through soft way. It depends on how you take it. That's one thing I would like to put as an example, live example, which happened to me in Juba. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, our guest, Mr. Simon, for joining us on this show. It's been an interesting conversation. I'm very sure your young brothers and sisters, they are going to learn from you, and they will take the messages and probably implement. To my viewers, as we come to the end of the show, my name is Joseph Nashon and the Test Drive Show. It has been an interesting conversation that we need to love peace for once and then implement it, put it into practice. Love your brother. Don't just put it in your heart that you love the person. Forgive them where they go wrong, and then life will have to go on. We really need peace in South Sudan. We need peace in Western Equatoria and in other part of South Sudan. You just need to have that common way of handling things, a manner that does not harm the other person. Our show comes to the end with my team. Thank you very much. On this show, of course, we broadcast, we advertise, we give out loans. You can always call the numbers you see on the screen when you watch our program. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.